As you see in the screen, I have created an image using stability diffusion model, uh, using this particular prompt. So I want to do the same thing using AWS API. I would create a Lambda function with Python runtime, and I would use Boto3 library. Okay, so let's do that. So my intention is to create the image, and subsequently I would want to store it in an S3 bucket. To begin with, I go to my AWS console, I pick on Lambda, I create a new function. I choose Python as my runtime, and I create this particular function. Now, this Lambda function will come with some default skeleton code. I need to enrich that code, and we would try to invoke that model here. Okay, now the way the Lambda function would work is that it gets triggered by an event comes in and triggers this particular function. So I'm going to pass my prompt through this event. Okay, I need to create an event, and we'll do that as we go along. So the first thing is I would read my prompt from the event body, which will have a key known as prompt, and I'm going to print that prompt. Okay, now to build my connections with Bedrock, I would import Boto3, and I would need to build a connection to that. So I can just go and search Boto3 SDK to connect with Bedrock. I'll go to my Boto3 documentation, and it'll tell me, well, I need to build with the runtime, so I'll sort of change this module a bit. So here I'm going to okay, and I would need to do the same thing. I will need to build a connection with an S3 bucket. I need to store my image there, so I'll just do that work right away. So S3 client, in that case I just need the keyword S3. Okay, so let me just deploy this. I need to create an event now, and I'll show you how I'll create one. I'll use the same prompt from here. So when I try to test it, it'll ask me to create a new event. So that'll be my prompt, and I would use the same key here, and now I can test my Lambda function. Now it will go and print that prompt for me. Okay, now I need to invoke the Bedrock model. So how do I invoke it? So this is how you invoke. So let me copy all this. I don't need most of these, but let me go ahead and paste it here. Okay, and I don't need okay, so how do I get my model? I go to my playground, and I can view the API request where I find my model. So I search that and save it here. With regard to the API, where did I get those things? Okay, hold on. Okay, if you look here, the body is going to be a bytes. We'll come back to this one. The content type, the MIME type of the input, you must specify applications JSON. The MIME type for accept also is the same. So let me do that. Okay. Now when it comes to body, let me see whether I can get some help from the documentation. I click on the inference parameters where I choose Stability AI model, that's my model, and I choose version 1, and this says what should be my request. So this is going to be my body. Okay, again, there are some default values to all these things. You would see them all here. You can read it later on. But I'm interested in this particular text. This is where my prompt should go. So let me paste it here and get rid of most of them. Okay. I don't need my weight, and my prompt is already captured as input prompt variable. Okay, and I'm going to make it into a JSON structure by calling json.dumps, and that should do the job. Now the client is my Bedrock client, which I've already defined. Okay, and this is going to be my Bedrock response, which I'm now going to print. Okay, okay, I'm just going to make it a bit beautiful. Okay, I'm going to save, deploy it, and I'm going to execute it. So now I should see the Bedrock response. Okay, so there is some error here. Okay. Oh, stability. Okay. I missed the S out. Okay, let me execute it. Not authorized. Okay, so basically is an access denied. So Lambda is not able to access Bedrock services, so I need to give permissions for that. So let me go to configuration. I need to first increase the timeout, and then I also need to add permissions to this particular rule that the Lambda function would use. So go to my add permissions, attach policy, Bedrock, give it full access. I will also give access to my S3. Add permissions, and that should be good enough. So if I go back to my code and execute, it should give me the result. Okay, so that's the output that the model gives. So what we did in this module is we first use the import the Boto3 package. We built connections to Bedrock and S3, and then we captured the prompt that came via an event, and then using that prompt we put that into the body, and mentioned what model we want, and then we invoked that particular model and we got a response, and that's what is this one. So when we come back next, we are going to open the body aspect of it because the body contains the image. Okay, see you then.